Good morning, everybody. Thanks to join this event, and thank you for your attention during these sessions. That's true. I'm Valerie, CEO of Nodeum. As here, some few people do not me and do not our companies very well, that I will spend a little bit time on the history too. Okay? Do not be afraid to interrupt me, to ask questions live. I like to get it interactive. First, I want to thank you, Frederica, and the teams of E3 for being the chance to meet here and to present. Then typically behind Nodeum, we do have a long history, more than 25 years of existence, specialized in the product development, with a strong, let's say, skills and IP on the tapes management system. You will understand why it's key important for us. Like we are one of the, let's say, unique, if I can say, not the only one, but data management software that are doing as well tapes in the portfolio has storage management. Okay, we started the adventures and the journey of Nodeum in 2015-16 when I decided, let's say, to onboard in the company and to develop a new product in the data management. We made a lot of discussion and interrogation from customers who were looking for different, let's say, approach on how to deal with some, let's say, concept of data mobility. We launched the product directly, let's say, as quick as possible, let's say, to get something very stable that start to fit and answer some value proposition for end users on specific industries. You will learn afterwards where we are in the industry. Okay, we started to, we are European-based companies based in Belgium, middle of everywhere in Europe. And we can, let's say, expand in the DACH region, in France, and we are going to UK as well too. We do have also, let's say, a presence with customers in Asia Pacific and a little bit in North America too. Basically, we didn't, we started, as I said, the development of the product of Nodeum based on the papers and IDs, okay? It's not something that we have, let's say, modify, improve, put it, let's say, patches on. No, we started from IDs and papers. And basically, okay, I will not spend time on this slide, but okay, at the origin, it's part of that, the deluge of the data, structured data. We are completely focused on unstructured data, and we are behind explosion. I will not spend time on this. But more important for me is the vision, okay? It's the vision we wanted to get as, let's say, a stream in the development and the journey of our company. And we want to transform, let's say, the traditional storage ecosystem and leverage the data management as one solution basically for hybrid storage. Okay? And that's something that, let's say, is done. Okay, we did it. We are pleased with that. The second challenge we have understood is basically the acceleration and the combination of what an end user is expecting, let's say, in a business of a data management solution. Okay, and this is our objective, is to speak to the end users with a solution. Okay, because we want to eradicate the time an end user has to take care of the archive, the mobility, the movement, and the protection of the unstructured data, basically. And also, we want to help them to, let's say, apply rules and automations too in the mobility of the content. And also to eradicate the time to search after the data. Then we design Nodeum. It's for unstructured data, which are growing fast. It's for organization that need the scalability of the different hybrid storage, plus cloud. And also now we are, let's say, requested by the markets to go to the fair management and the collaboration around the data too. And how we can help with Nodeum in this challenge. And here basically we are talking about end user organization who has challenge in the edge computing, in the burst computing, in the bursting of the storage too. Okay, I have a certain limited space of storage I want to burst. How can I do? About remote workers as well. And of course, archival. If you have any questions, just interrupt. Please ask your questions. And two things which are very important for our perspective is the situation today for the IT and the situation for the end users. And we can see, when talking with organization customers, that it's slightly different. I just spoke with a very important university 2 days ago, and these are the people that were facing to me. It was people, scientific people, in the geology and mineral stuff. And he explained me that 20 years ago, when he started the labs, he got 4 engineers, IT engineers, 4. Today, 0. But at the same time, he received equipment, microscope, machines that are generating 10, 20 terabytes per day. And he needs to fix that, the challenge. No IT anymore. Then the situation for the IT, I missed the slide. Yeah, this was for the end user, but for the IT is somebody that are comfortable with his single systems, okay? And now he's facing to such kind of things. The same people, the same staff, if they have people, needs to take care of NAS, public cloud, private cloud, tapes, object storage, a lot of different, let's say, systems. And this is the reality of, let's say, most of the companies in unstructured data in some verticals. And we want to tackle both. What's going on for the end users, what's happened for the IT, okay? Then for us, if we take, let's say, a little bit landscape of the ecosystem, we can see on-premise storage, cloud, okay, all the vendors we know, and others. And we want to sit here in the middle and provide hybrid data services. This is our, let's say, focus. We want to provide data services around the movement, the life cycle, archivings, protections, and the such. Okay? This is our objective. In an existing, let's say, ecosystems with most of the vendors that are here for years and years. Then for our perspective, the data management is not anymore a myth, it's a reality. And we can debate about what is really data management, because everybody is talking about data management. But for our perspective, data management is not only storing content. It's the minimum. And we build Nodeum for achieving a real data management solution. Please.
Surely data management is 2 levels. There's physical data management, storage, and there's the logical data management of the semantics of the data, the quality of service, and stuff like that. Do you handle both of those, or just handle the physical?
No, we take care of the logical, on the services, not on the system itself. Okay. We support, and you will learn afterwards, we support most of the vendors. We are completely no locking, no vendor locking. We can't be compatible with most of the vendors, but the vendors are taking care of the storage itself, and we take care of the service around, the movement, the protection, the life cycle, such kind of things.
Okay, so you would support the creation, storage, deletion.
Exactly.
Deletion.
It's really there.
So when you say most of the storage vendors, were the exceptions?
Well, it's because I'm engineer. I'm not marketing nor sales. Okay, then there is always an exception in the world. To be honest, no, we do not have exceptions. Okay, but that's right. It's a good question.
I want to hold off this question, but I can't anymore. Everything I've heard so far is not different. And then you just said you're an engineer and not marketing. Given the fact that you're working in a space where it's very crowded, you are working in a space which has its origins in backup, which is extraordinarily important, but extraordinarily boring. Nobody wants to deal with it.
That's true.
Right? The absence of marketing makes it extraordinarily difficult for you to even get noticed or for anybody to care.
Yeah. You're right. You know why it's boring, the backup? Because it's for IT.
From day one.
Because it's for IT. It's not for the end user. The end user doesn't get a lot of, let's say, interest of the backup. He will just complain if there is something wrong. But on the day-to-day basis...
We can change that in areas that are regulated, right? We can talk about the fact that everything needs to be, quote-unquote, backed up. for the purposes of legal reasons. I'm not concerned about that, but just generally, you're right. It's an IT problem.
It's an IT problem.
But we can turn that into a business problem pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're still working in a space that is not particularly attractive. I would argue completely unattractive.
That's true.
Right?
And we want to get it attractive for the end users. Because the end users is now an actor in the story and not just giving money.
And you're an engineer
Yes.
and not marketing.
No, I'm not.
You see the problem I'm trying to highlight.
No, but I'm CEO too, then I have to sell the business.
Okay.
You will see.
I think what my colleague is trying to say is not to put words into your mouth, is that companies like Veeam and Acronis make it sound a bit sexier. And spend a lot of money on marketing to make to buy the market share. So I would like to obviously hear more about how you're reaching the market with the channel. With
I will go back on that. Yeah.
My colleague is much more elegant than I am.
Marketeer for you.
Is that okay?
I'm sure.
Oh, yes, true. That's right. You are speaking on Veeam, Acronis, and so on. And on the market we serve, they are completely under transformation. HPC, supercomputing, just do not come back to people working in research centers speaking about Veeam. You will get the door. Okay, it will get the door. HPC, research, genomics, digital pathology are, let's say, business where we can do transformation. Geospatial, universities for research again. And of course, the last one, but not least, the media. Okay, these are the four markets, let's say, or group of organizations we serve. I would not say we do not take care of the rest. I would say yes, but we try to focus on these four ones. And we have enough to do for now. Okay. And basically, currently, about our customer success, HPC supercomputing is the number one. Okay. The second is the media, post-production, broadcasters, and also all the, let's say, the companies who are doing a VFX and also, let's say, movies, animated movies, such kind of things. The Earth observation, life science is number 3, after Earth observation universities, okay? And our strong focus today is HPC supercomputing's life science.
What are the revenues of the company?
Oh, we are, let's say, still a small company. We are just reaching the million of revenue.
Thank you.
And we are, let's say, profitable.
How many customers do you have approximately?
Around 30, 50? 30, 50? It depends, yeah. We have very big with a lot of sites. We depend on how we count.
So please, what about your growth year to year?
Then when we started, let's say, I can say we double every year, but when we start with 2, 3, 4, okay, it's easy to double. Yeah, we do, let's say, in terms of revenue, we double every year, yeah. Yeah. We started at 0 and
Sorry, how many euros revenue you reach?
just less than 1 million, yeah.
1 million euros?
Yeah.
That's per annum, per year.
Yeah. And we have already committed and booked for next year's revenue. Then yes, it's challenge. Being European is challenge too, but we have the recognition of the market for now in terms of customers and key customers that we are driving now the growth and the scale, and let's say keep the momentum. It's now a couple of years that we do that, and we have now the, let's say, the key metrics that we see the shift. We want to simplify our missions. Simplify the process, like you mentioned. It's too complex for now. A lot of things are too complex. We want to simplify, let's say, the process to archive, to get the contents, the mobility and the protections, and again on the unstructured data.
Talking about archiving.
Yeah.
To me, archiving is different from backup.
That's true.
Because archive has a business rationale attached to it.
Yeah.
Why are you archiving it? How long for?
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that is often a lot of people who talk about backing up their systems should talk about restoring their systems.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And they should think about what they're backing them up for and what their backups would have to support in terms of business.
Yeah.
And most people don't think about the business applications associated with archive data.
That's true. That's true. This is the key: is the life cycle. How many years we need to keep it? Do we need to delete it? And how we can select the content?
Yeah, how do you access it? Because if some of the stuff is GDPR, it can be almost impossible to answer given the simple sequential storage.
Exactly, and you will learn afterward the journey for an end user to start to let's say to take the road of the archive is a challenge for now. And this is what we want to simplify.
It's also an advantage for you as being European because the Americans, in my opinion, tend not to always understand that GDPR is not just a simple prescriptive thing.
Exactly.
A
lifestyle.
And you understand
we understand that. Yeah. And we can be trusted to understand that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Scalability is a key thing. It's a no-brainer. We need to get solutions that scale because the content growth is scaling fast, and we need to make sure to follow. And this is not a question of the volume is important, but the number of files too that has to take care. Okay, we are on the billion level, and we need to keep it during could be 30 years. And the unifications too. Okay, it's one platform to take care of the 3 different type of workflows on an hybrid storage layers. And it's one software, and we want to manage the archiving to reduce the complexity to access the content. Like you mentioned, basically, archiving, we do archiving. HSM is doing archiving from 20, 30 years now, perhaps. A lot of players are in the field. It could be cloudy, let's say. Yeah, that's true. It's cloudy. But a lot of things is cloudy. We need to figure out where is the problems because people are still not take care of the road of the archiving. Who is archiving content? Do you archive your content? I'm pretty sure not. But helping the end users to archive is a challenge. And we want to get this on board. The end users, we want to onboard the end users like our favorite ambassador.
Do you add metadata to this data? Because it seems to me if you're doing a large language model,
that's true.
You perhaps want to weight the data according to how reliable it is and place more weight in training on data that's more trustworthy.
That's true.
That would be adding data, metadata to the data store.
And this is key. For example, we do have use case of end users who say, okay, I have a file system storage, I will not name it, whatever. I place attribute on the file. For example, it's doing extraction or analysis or seismic analysis, and they have some metadata on the file as an attribute to say, okay, this is the boat serial number, the boat names, who took the measure, blah, blah, blah. And our softwares get the capability to address that, to read the metadata, and to apply policies based on this metadata. Then we are, let's say, asking now to the end user, say, okay, let's continue to use your metadata as you want, and the softwares will take care to the policies based on that. And then we can organize the mobility on that.
There's a lot of companies doing data management, data governance, etc. for unstructured data. Can you be clearer, please, about what you see as your key differentiators?
Definitively, yeah, I will do it. Yeah, no problem. It's part of the presentation.
Valerie, how many people in your company, please?
I'm sorry?
How many people in the company?
Oh, we are 10. Yeah.
10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then first, the workflow. 2, provide a large-scale POSIX compliant and scalable file system virtualized on the front, on the data mover, to unify that, okay? And of course, we want to support the multi-protocols, okay? It's no-brainers. We want to help NFS, SMB, or S3.
Sorry,
Yep.
I lost my question, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No worry. Then the modernization is here. It's about the user journey. What we want is to onboard the users in such kind of, let's say, of process, where the end user has the capability to define his namespace. And typically, an end user in an organization will get the options to say, okay, I need space for handling my archive, for example. Then the namespace is available, let's say, behind a GUI for end user, saying, okay, I want to add, Of course, we do have API and the multi-protocols behind that. Basically, when the user has his namespace available, he can access it through an S3, an NFS, or whatever protocols. Inside this namespace, he will get the capability to define the dataset. And this is the journey, is to define the dataset. Okay, I have several datasets in my namespace, where the content will be stored, of course, where I will apply retentions. Okay, so the retention is the capability to say, okay, this content, I will store it, let's say, during 30 years somewhere, on a tape, whatever, this one during temporary time, 1 year on object storage. Then I will define my retention. I will go back later on the retention.
Sorry, I remember the question. How are you funded?
Yeah, that we have, private funders, angels, yeah. No VC yet.
No VC, okay.
No.
Are you profitable?
Well, I would say yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. You
Yeah.
answer however you need to answer, yes?
Yeah, so we are.
Okay.
I do not have the luxury to be very highly profitable, to be honest.
No,
But
no, you
yeah,
don't need to be.
we are fine. Financial structures, we are fine, definitively. Then retention is part of, let's say, of what you can apply the metadata management to on the data set. Okay, I want to define my metadata and take care of the metadata. And indexations, okay, is part of the equations, because when you have to deal with so many files, you need to index. And what is coming next year is a classification. And we are looking to classify all the content with the metadata in the index to make sure that we can expose some, let's say, informations to the end user to help them to classify the content. And back to that, we do have our data movers, which is, let's say, very, well established now. The hybrid storage too, the capability to address any type of storage, including the tape storage. And we are adding for next year the self-provisioning. I will come back later on a slide to that, but the idea is really to provision to the storage on the storage systems too. And get, let's say, some integration, more deep dive integration with vendors to auto-provision, to self-provision the storage.
So you want to talk to vendors. What type of vendors are you talking about here?
Most of major vendors, Dell, HP Enterprise, NetApp.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not known for being eloquent. Why would they want to talk to you? There are so many other solutions.
You know, everybody wants to talk to everybody. Everybody got alliance with everybody. Then basically, the concept is, for us, end users need to get an integration with NetApp. It will be done.
Again,
That's
I'm very straightforward, candid.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything that makes you that distinct.
That's true, but it's happened.
But it might be true, but that is important for us, and certainly for me to try and understand.
I just wanted to say,
yeah.
so Valerie, are there any slides here that explain how Nodeum is different,
Yeah.
and why it is compelling,
Yep.
and why vendors and users choose Nodeum
Yep.
over other
Yep.
solutions? Ben, will that address?
That's great.
Yep.
Thank you,
Okay.
Fred.
Yeah. Thank you. Now, the benefit is really to get multi-interface. It's not only to get the capability for an end user to get access to an S3 or an NFS. It's also to help them, let's say, to get access, let's say, to the content itself, the catalogs of the content, and the indexations which have been done. Okay. Then behind the namespace concept, we provide the access to the multi-protocols, of course, for the end users, but also as well to the GUI. And the GUI is really the difference for now in the market, because in regards to that, end users have to collaborate around the content, have to get insight on the content, okay, around that. And this is really the combination of the capability to address a protocols base and also, let's say, a GUI interface for helping the end users to get insight too. And the self-provisioning is important to get, let's say, to reduce, let's say, the layers between the end users and the storage side.
Classification absolutely vital for self-provisioning, because you need to know that the user is allowed to provide this data, allowed to use it.
Exactly. That's.
So without classification.
It's behind. It's behind that we do have workflows to authorize, to make sure that But when end users is authorized to define volumes, they will do. And to answer your questions, yes, it's some things that happened and will be more and more requested for now because regulation and so on, and even more in Europe, the data management has to be fair, and we need to get more collaboration around. And to be honest, you are right on that. The leaders and of the vendor do not have any interest of that. Why? Because they want to keep everything for them. That's true.
And even the salespeople who have a choice of not using, for example, from Dell, because they don't have all of these functions, they have many other choices.
That's true. But okay, we do have customers saying now we want to get, for example, we talk about protections, the golden copy, the multiple copies of the content, and they want, and dictate this, we want to get multi-vendor, multimedia, multi-format, and this, step, object, flash, whatever, different technologies too, and they request that to the vendors.
And sales message for your current customers will be very different to your sales message for general commercial customers. They're going to want to have the compelling, the sexy, and so on. And your existing customers, probably the rationality is enough.
That's true. That's true. Our target is really to convince the ones who want transformation. Okay. Then, like I mentioned, retentions. I will go back later on. Metadata indexation classification. The retention is really to mimic, let's say, the concept or the ideas who mostly a lot of people try to achieve now is basically I have an archiving, let's say, pool, which is designed with different tier of storage, and I want just to apply through, let's say, the interface or through the S3 protocols to the retention I want, and the lifecycle policy is behind too. Okay, that is really an answer to that. That even per protocol base or per interface base, they can, let's say, apply the retention they want. Okay, then they can define. Okay, I need to get an immediate access. I need to get an infrequent access. Or a long-term archive too, okay? But from an end user's perspective, you just keep the namespace.
Is that the only classification you do?
Yeah.
Or you could have classifications like, this is regulated data, this data must never leave this data.
Exactly, because we do have this around our metadata. Our metadata gets all the classifications already behind, let's say, the normal, let's say, metadata of content, so when it has been accessed, by who, which date, when it has been created, all of these metadata are already targeted. Now we want to expose the next step afterwards, the classification, which is more or less about what is behind, what is inside the content basically. Okay, and then to start to build classification around that, but this is incoming. And here we decide to define that and to simplify that, because we want to reduce again, because we spent years with customers and organization, and most of the time it's still some things which are done by the IT. Okay, IT are continuing to define the policies of archiving and so on. And we want to get back this to the end users. And now we are pushing the message. End users, it's now your turn. You have the capability to address your policies you want and to make sure that they are completely regulated. Okay.
Sorry, one more question about your company. Where are you said 10 employees.
Yeah.
Where are they located?
Belgium.
All Belgium.
Yeah. Then behind that, we do have a data movers that has been designed. Okay, we transform it. I will go later on that. The data mover is designed, and we get the proof from the business that we are capable to achieve very high scale. We design it for the exascale, let's say, supercomputings now. And this is, let's say, one of the main things because the performance are important. The validation of the integrity too, and the monitoring and the verifications too. Okay, but behind that is the data movers which is used in our, let's say, archiving and protections module.
Can you move in the background so that data can move from immediate access storage to long-term access storage in the background without using just spare CPU cycles?
Exactly, it's that. It's a question to get in the background the content moving back and forth in having, let's say, an in-memory processing and I/O for read and write to move the content. And we design, let's say, translation layers that we can talk with steps, we can talk with S3, object storage, Swift, or file-based storage. Okay, that we have designed a translations module to help, let's say, to make the conversions across, let's say, all of these different protocols or type of storage tier. But let's say from an end user's perspective, it doesn't see anything else. It's just the metadata which are stored in the caching metadata. It still see the file in the virtualization file system, but in the background, the file is moving. Yeah. The file is moving. But for metadata perspective, we keep it, let's say, on the caching layer. It's right and true and not, because we have the capability as well to export to the metadata to an S3 like a standard metadata tool, for example. Okay, then the metadata can be also, let's say, moved in the same way. Self-provisioning, like you mentioned. First of all, yeah, we do have agreements with Dell, we do have agreements with Quantum, we do have a lot of agreements, okay? The world of the storage in the verticals where we are, it's few people, okay? It's a very small world where everybody talks, okay? And to be honest, our customers have all of these different type of technologies, okay? And they are looking for such kind of help to auto-provision and to get the capability to get more integration. For example, when we talk to Dell and we say, okay, we take out the PowerScale, Xylon, okay, systems, and we say with our softwares, we can, for example, analyze your resources on the different nodes. And with this analyze, with this type of integration, we can elect the node who have the most resources available to push the content or to pull the content from. Then drastically, we can help their user, their customers to get more out of the systems and get more throughput just because we get, let's say, some, integration or deep integration with such kind of vendors. And most of the vendors can get such kind of interest. Hybrid storage, okay, understood, it's clear, all the different type of pillar, okay. Then we design a new architectures, okay. This is a new architectures of the solution. We are complete software based, microservice, and basically it's designed by, let's say, the different interface here. Traditional protocols, if I can say. We have here different, let's say, interface. We have a bash client. This is a key thing in some verticals, is to go back to the bash. Mm-hmm. We do have a powerful bash where end users can directly interact with the service. In terms of pipelining and process, you will understand because we do have use case afterwards. They can, let's say, be inside. The solution can be placed inside the process.
Any kernel changes?
Sorry?
Any kernel changes?
No.
Okay.
No kernel.
So it's just an additional service.
Package, install, yeah. Scale out. We have Ansible playbooks, rollout. Okay. Then we do have a bash. We do have the web console, and we do have SDK. Everything is around REST API, which is key for automation of the type of workflow. We do have a great use case of end users who are getting, let's say, the usage of the API to integrate all this type, let's say, of data mobility, data archiving, data protection, workflow inside their workflow, their business workflow. And you will learn with us how we can achieve that. We do have the data mover node here on the back, which are, let's say, one of the critical things. Our management of tape libraries, because yes, I can say we love tapes too. And we do have notification and authorizations plugins. This is some things that foresee we leverage such kind of technologies because we see a shift. We see the demands which are growing. We are not talking about username, password, Active Directory, such kind of things anymore. We are talking about token, federations. Such kind of requirements are coming from end users too. And we have the capability to answer to that. Very complex, let's say, authentication and authorizations mechanism. Authentication authorizations to get access to the service, but also to get access to the storage too. And we have been able to implement with the plugins technologies the capability to address a movement of content from, let's say, POSIX file systems with LDAP, with username, password, UID, GID technologies behind, and on the left, on an OIDC, IDP-based, token-based users management. And get, let's say, the combinations of both worlds. And on the back, the different storage layers included the NFS, SMB, protocol, Swift S3, but also the mounted file systems too. And we have the capability to address such kind of workflows with a GPFS, a Lustre, and all of this stuff. Then we design a complete end-to-end parallel design where we can scale most of the services. We can scale them for reliability. We can scale them for scalability. The most important nodes are the mover, of course, because it's the service and the systems that has to take care of the data processing behind. But as well, the cache management is key in the equation. Because it's the cache management who are taking care of all the metadata and headers and so on. Okay? Any further questions on that?
I do have one.
Yeah.
Going back to the bit you mentioned earlier about retention management.
Yeah.
First of all, could you say a little bit more about the rules that are actually applied as to how data is located in what pool? And the other thing is, are you doing anything about the data lifecycle management?
Yeah.
In other words, so helping users select or to plan for the
getting the
death of the
data.
Because that is becoming a problem. It's a sustainability issue as much as anything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So can you say more about what you're doing on that?
I will use this slide as an illustration, for example. Okay. Now this is our modules of, let's say, of what an end user can see basically on that. Then basically end users can get access to the catalogs of the content. That basically they can reach after anything they got, and they are authorized to access to, of course, too. And for each of them, we have the capability. Here's just a drawing, okay, dynamic drawing. We can, let's say, list to the end users all the life cycle from the date when the file has been created, okay, the size, all of this stuff, the number of copies he got, on which volumes he got. And for example, he got a copies on an Azure blob here. He got a copies here on the tabs too. Then he can keep the traceability of all the copies he got, where it's stored. Is it an archive? Is it a golden copy? Or it's just single copy, multiple copies? Then he can get this traceability. Okay. And this is a view. Okay. But behind that, he got access to all the policies. He wants to erase, he can erase. Okay. To be honest, it's available. It's very rare that somebody wants to erase, but he can do. Okay, because we want to keep the capability to do it. But he wants to retrieve. Okay, he got access to all the pools where the copies are done. He can retrieve the exact versions he wants. Whatever the content is stored on the cloud and whatever, it's easy. Just to click, he can retrieve it. This is why for us the combination of the GUI and providing this capability to the end users are more and more requested when we speak with customers, because a file system cannot achieve everything.
Can I ask you just kind of realization? You said you've got customers of the 5 largest European HPC centres.
Yeah.
Does that include CERN?
No.
Well, that's
no.
the largest.
you name any of them, please?
We do not have some. I would be pleased. Yeah, we do have CSCS, which is in Lugano. CSCS. Yeah. We do have CSCS, CA. We do have Barcelona Supercomputing, Jülich Supercomputing. Yeah. And you will see, the new exascale is coming.
So,
at Jülich.
This new software you're creating, I guess has come about because you talk to your HPC customers and they say, we need more scale.
Yeah, they need more scale. And we design it to get ready for exascale.
Yeah.
Jupyter is coming.
And they can't go to suppliers like Capri's or Cohesity Smart Files to do this because they're incapable of coding.
Incapable. That's true.
You've got yourself a very, very defined niche, I think.
Yes. Welcome. And we work with them to understand really the use case, really what they want to achieve. And they were looking for capability for end users to address quickly archive and movement across a high level of scale, huge, like never. Get capability as well to integrate in their workflow directly the movement, that basically when they start to do a calculation on the HPC, they say, all right, I will use one of the favorite one, name it Slurm. Slurm is a workload manager. It is the application that at least 50% of the market is using. And with Slurm, they will decide the calculation and the resources that they will consume on the system. And we have integration with such kind of workload applications. That directly in the workload definition, they say, okay, all right, I will start to do a calculation. I need resources. But before that, I need to get back the file from whatever the file is, place it back on my closest, let's say, storage layer. In the batch, they process it. When it's done, they request Nodeum to get back the result and place it somewhere else. Then they have a complete A to Z flow for the end user. This one thing. Yeah. We have the capability to integrate as well code, that they can add code in the data mover too, in Nodeums too, to request, for example, I need to apply a code before the execution, during the execution, and after the execution. That, for example, they start to move content or archive content, and just at the end of each, let's say, copies or move, they will do some API call in Python, for example. We support different type of language. They do API calls to just try to link, let's say, the result of the movement to something else. That they can trigger, let's say, a complete workflow with that.
You are intending to move out of your niche, are you, into the more general space, or are you intending just to make money from your niche customers?
What we try to get the best of that, okay, to understand how they work, because there are people that they have a very high level of requirement. It's huge in terms of design and requirements of speed, scalability, and so on, and interface. And we try to apply that to other markets too. Not all markets, because we cannot. But the technology can fit to others too.
And then the problem with the technology fitting, I do wonder whether the sales model will work for more general customers.
This is a very interesting question, the sales model. We can spend 5 minutes on that. We do have a mixed mode, but the most important is to do, let's say, as far as we can, is to touch the end users. Okay, when the end users is convinced, we discuss. We have a mixed approach. For example, in UK, we have distributors, we do have resellers. In Germany, we do have resellers. Okay, and we do have small, East Europe, we do have resellers too, and we have some small country where we work indirect, because we need to convince the market, we need to get the first reference. We do not have to spend the time to convince a reseller to try to resell our product.
So how many people are in sales of the 10 people you have?
Me.
Okay.
And our reseller.
And how are you selecting and finding your customers?
It's It's a good question.
Thank you.
They come to you.
Yeah.
They come to me.
Self-selecting.
Because they spend their time dealing with Lustre and GPFS and parallel file systems.
That's true.
Like that. But they've got to store their data once it's cold someplace else.
Yeah.
They don't want to know how to do it. They don't want to get involved with Isilon or Cumulo or whoever. You take care of that second.
We take care, and they come to us.
That's your niche.
Yeah, they come to us directly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how are you getting yourself known by these organizations, companies, so that they can come to you? What are the things that you're doing?
We get help.
Okay.
We get help for that from PR, from such kind of things. Yeah. We get
Anybody in
help from
marketing? Of the 10 people, how?
One.
One person in marketing and the rest are developers?
Yeah, developers, support. Yeah.
And support.
Yeah.
Can you break that down? How many developers versus support?
Well, support is 1-2 people. Yeah.
Okay. And they do multiple jobs.
Yeah. We need to be agile.
Okay.
I do supports too.
As an engineering scientist, I quite like that proportion.
Yeah.
If I was an investor, I'm not quite so sure whether I'd be so keen on it.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, the priority model, okay, we will review, we'll go quickly through that. We review a little bit the priority management. We do have priority management is key things. We change a little bit the models of traditional things because when we have to queue a lot of movement, to queue a lot of processing, we still have, let's say, the problems, let's say, of the bandwidth and the throughput, okay?
And that's a real server thing that other people do as well. But that is what people, end users, need out of their file system.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't get it.
No, they don't get it. No. And then we transform that to a fair models because the fair models will allow at least the one who is in the lower priority to get a chance to get the movements done. Because there is so frustrating when you see that it doesn't have the priority on the queue because you have super consumer to not get it. Then we transform that. So this is very happy. The customers are very happy and users too. They get an option. Filtering, like I mentioned, okay, we can filter through content. That basically we archive, move, and protect content. We start from let's say from a source and we place it to a destination. Okay, this is traditional filtering modules where we can select with a GUI. We do have also an advanced where you can code typically your filters. Okay, when you have let's say more capabilities in the data selections you want to filter. But like I mentioned, we can go back to the metadata story now. The software is storing and integrate natively, let's say, the metadata management. Inside, of course, the capability to store the metadata and to keep it preserved, okay? But also to get some triggers, hooks, and filters based on the metadata, okay? Plus the capability to say, okay, your metadata is stored on a file system, you will move it to an S3, object storage, whatever branch you have, you will preserve the metadata. Vice versa. Then we copy from a file system GPFS to Lusters, we preserve the metadata. You want to copy files from a GPFS, Lustre, or traditional file systems to an S3, Amazon, whatever, or just object storage, we preserve the metadata. We recreate a complete metadata, let's say the traditional one, but if the end users wants to extend like this one, for example, when they want to define, let's say, some key metadata on the files itself, we will transform the metadata to, let's say, a standard metadata from S3. Okay? Then for us, it's key to taking care of that too, and to make sure to get value out of that for an end user.
So current end users understand that sort of terminology, do they?
Yeah.
Because I thought that most business end users might want the same thing, but probably wouldn't be too happy with that, that terminology.
Yeah, because currently people are doing that for organization, okay. And afterwards, okay, now they can get out of that. And to answer back to your question, there are there are some few vendors that are super happy with such kind of features. Very happy. Because their end users of their system are playing with such kind of things and they do not get the capability to address the management, the data management of that. Users management, I will skip. This is our view of our bash client, where the end users get the capability to authenticate to the solutions, and from the authentication, they can directly apply workflows from a bash client. We do have, let's say, the graphical interface too. All of these two components are based on our REST API, of course. Okay, monitoring alerts. We can integrate to new techniques and software, Prometheus, Loki, such kind of things, to interface all the, let's say, the monitorings and the alert and resource consumption. I will go no more into detail about some use case, some key ones, because there are some of them that are very important for us. This one is where we deploy to this 5.1. And it's something that was very interesting, challenging, technically speaking. But the requirement of them is really to go in a model where the file system, the scale-out file system, is only be requested for compute. And they want to identify on a European level to get the content stored on an object storage. That all the result of the research, or let's say, I name it the gold mine because it's really where the value is stored on object storage, for collaborations, for sharing. But at the end, the compute is on the file system. And I do believe it will stay there. And they are looking, let's say, to get software to help them to achieve what I mentioned at the beginning. To get the movement from the GPFS, Lustre, to object storage and vice versa. Keeping the metadata, getting integrated with inside their workflow of compute. Reduce the time, because they have to convince end users that the content is not anymore on the GPFS on the Lustre. They have to get it back from somewhere and place it. And behind this, it's really the fair data management that most of organizations need now to get in, because without being in data management, they have problems with regulations. And integrated with their workload manager. And plus the fact as well that they love the capability to address the authentication and authorization. To access the storage, plus as well to access the service. Okay? Then, these are let's say, the most famous one. Jülich will be in Europe the first one who will host the Exascale. The new one, the new system, the new calculators. CEA will be the second one. Then we are ready to be there. We are ready to do workload. And we designed the product for being capable to address that. We are talking about amazing. We are talking about 150 terabyte hours of transfer. 150 terabyte per hour.
Speaking of capacity, how much capacity total across your customers, please?
Capacity base.
No, what's the total that you're managing? Do you know?
Capacity?
Yes.
To be honest, I don't know. It's vary from petabyte to 100 petabyte.
That's a big number.
Yeah, it's big.
Big, sorry, big,
yeah.
Range.
Yeah, it's a big range.
Okay.
Yeah. Talking back to archiving and protection, like you said, importance to do the difference. This customer is university in Germany, and the objective was to replicate the 3-2-1 concept to the archive. And they come back to us and say, okay, we want to get the 3-2-1, but for the archive. Same kind, let's say, of concept of the backups, but for the archive. Saying that, okay, for my archiving ecosystem, I do have 2 copies on S3. For now, I want to get another copy on the tapes. And you can say, okay, there are some vendors that can do it. Okay, I will not name it. But these vendors, They cannot provide a vendor break, of course, same vendor. Here we do not have a same vendor, we have dual vendor. On the front, on the S3 is one vendor, and the tape is another vendor. This was a requirement. Plus the fact that these people, and this we do have let's say a market for that. When we compare to an active scale, cold storage, for example, such kind of things, the customers ask, can I identify where my content is stored on tape? And when you speak with active scale cold storage, they cannot say, no, they cannot say where my content is stored. It's impossible. And these people need that. They need to identify, say, okay, I want to make sure that the tape 1, 2, 3, 4 is for this. And we can do that. Then with them, we expand that. They have the capability to address 2 copies on S3, 1 copy on tapes. For end users, is basically they can access everything. They can access all copies behind a unique interface, an S3 interface. Okay? And this was a really key, let's say, a requirement for them. We have been able to achieve it. This medical university in Austria, in Graz, this is, for me, it's a lovely use case. Because it is really why I wanted to do that. I wanted to build a product for that. Because, yeah, technology is fine, it's great, we can do a lot of things. But when we can serve the business as the best as we can, and bring to them a real value, which is not cost, which is not operation, well, no, a real value. And we have been able to demonstrate that to this university. They had a problem. They had an MRI scanner here on the top, on the left, sorry, and they are doing research on cancer, on the carcomina of the thyroid, to serve patients. And basically, they extract some cells of the skins, they place it and they scan, and just try to observe the pictures to determine what type of the level of the cancer. And they use also metadata extraction from the image, and they run calculation. And the time to generate a slide, to scan a slide took 1 minute. The time to move the file to all the, let's say, the different computing systems took 10 minutes to get the complete flow. Yeah, you can imagine that the system on the left here is completely loaded. It's gone. No way. 10 minutes to get the mobility and the analysis, and 1 minute for processing. And we work with them to place Nodeum in the centers of the workflow, on their workflow. We didn't ask them to change the workflow, no. We will come back, and we automate the complete movement. We help them to automate, to get performance on the workflow, automations. They have been also to integrate new techniques to extract the metadata. And we reduce to less than 1 minute now, the process. And at the end of the day, they can work more, analyze more content, and strive to help more patients. And this for us is really for the translation of what a technology can help, where a technology can help a business. And to transform to something different than an OPEX and a CAPEX and a cost and capacity and IOPS and such kind of thing. It's really to accelerate, let's say, the processing. We do have also some requirements to apply our technologies for end users that try to realize that it's nice, object storage is cool, S3 storage is cool, it's fantastic, but at the end of the day, if there is something happening on the object storage layers, they are in trouble. Then we start to get some requirements of customers saying, okay, I have an object storage which is dedicated for my backup, basically, or for my production, but I want to at least, even if I have multi-node, scalability, redundancy, I want to make sure to get a copy of my contents on another media too. I want to make sure that if something's happened on the object storage, I can do it. And we do have several, let's say, users using the solution for making sure that we can replicate object storage to tape. And we make replication of both, and in case of disaster, they can retrieve it. And again, they found us, because we can do that. And we have different type of business with that. This is another one, for example, for the space industry in Asia.
In Asia?
In Asia. Yeah.
Is this your only international account?
No, we do have several.
Can you break down the percentage for us?
Percentage in Asia?
Yeah, between different regions.
10, 80. 10 US, 10 Asia, 80 in Europe. Yeah. More or less. This one is where we can provide also the capability to archive the content with, let's say, a very, market in the production, the video production, where, let's say, the constraints are huge. And again, it's a question of time, if operation, and make sure that the technology we have designed can help them to accelerate the business. Because we have been able to provide with the software the capability to handle 3 copies, and it's an archive, but 3 copies of contents. It's a difference, yeah, we can argue the term archive on that, but it's 3 copies on 3 different storage layers with real constraint to make sure that we can prove, because the question of proof too, capability to copy the 3 copies of the file in less than 24 hours, maximum 1 day, and being able as well to provide all the traceability of the different copies and make sure that we can bring to the end users the statement that the 3 copies are equal. And then at this stage, they can erase the master file. And only when the 3 copies are equivalent. And when I say that, it's not 3 files, it's million and million of files, and we need to make sure that they are completely equivalent on different technologies backend.
So a lot of your examples are quite similar in the nature of why you're winning.
Exactly.
So I come back to the business side. How did your Asian customers find you, and even the non-European customers, how did they find you?
It's 50-50%. It's because they approach the vendors, traditional storage vendors, and they claim we cannot do what you need.
Okay.
We need somebody else. And they come to us.
And can I ask who some of those vendors are?
It can be Quantum, can be Dell, can be NetApp. These people.
So
DDN.
When you're in a successful sale, you are basically the only vendor left in the mix. There's nobody else that is competing with you at a realistic level.
We do have competitors, yeah. We do have competitors. But yeah, we do have some competitors that exist. We do have, I can name StrongLink, for example, but at least for European, we do have, let's say, a statement where it looks like the region is a little bit abandoned by StrongLink. And, yeah. We do have Atempo, which is a competitor with Myria, too. And in US, we do have Comprise, yeah, as a competitors.
In what? Who? Oh,
Comprise,
okay.
yeah.
Does it have to be a European?
Yeah, it's help for us. Yeah, that's true. In terms of relationship, support, and the mindsets too. Yeah, definitively. Then yes, you are right. All the use case I present, you can get the same feeling on why we are there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Licensing model, just one slide just to express how we sell it. Okay, we talk about the channel. We talk about the channel, now we are just licensing. We design a licensing model which is based on these 3 pillars. We do have a business licensing, which is subscription. It's really to help to go quick with an end user and start small with them. We like starting small with the customers. We do not want to spend three years in discussion, let's say, to get a deal signed or not. We try to onboard, work with them during 3 years and grow with them. Okay, this is our, let's say, real mindset behind.
How big are those installations when you say you start small in terms of revenue or capacity?
It can be 100 terabyte of content.
100.
Yeah, we take a perimeter and we start with that.
How much is that revenue?
It's small. It's small because when we are going on the right, it's different scale.
Of course.
Yeah,
what are we talking about? 10,000 euros?
Yeah, 10,000 euros per year. So on this one, yeah. You had a question?
Yeah, the Enterprise Plus in your data sheet available on your website at the moment, it says there are still for the tape management in the Enterprise Plus.
Yeah.
Next year.
We are revamping the page, yes. True.
Yeah, so does that mean you can't do it with what you have at the moment, or?
We can do it, but we do not have a lot of demand for now to integrate that, That's true.
Hello. Yes, please, you proceed with through a trial. Try and buy or...
Try and buy, that's true. We try to go try and buy. Any customers can download the software, install it, start to work with, and be happy, and come back to us. Yeah, that's the concept. We want to facilitate the connections with the end users and to facilitate them to understand. We do have, I didn't spoke about that, but we do have TCO calculators too, capacity planning tools inside that they can directly measure, the impact of starting to do archiving and such kind of thing, that they can measure and get exposure as well to their management, say, this is the proof, because when you talk about archiving, most of organizations, I'm not concerned, I need everything, every time, everywhere. It's not,
As a salespeople,
Exactly. Here's the report.
Kind of trusted advisor.
Exactly. Okay. Then yes, we introduce Enterprise Plus. Why? Because the model which were based on the capacity on the secondary storage, you get the limit. You are perfectly right. For now, the most of the Enterprise Plus are really file system object storage based. And they are really getting on the throughput. Then we introduce this model, and this model is coming more and more popular because we have the capability to address a licensing model based on the, let's say, on the throughput.
And do you have a free version? Let's start with that question.
Sorry?
Do you have a free version?
Trial. We can give 15 days, 30 days of trial keys. Yeah.
And are you contributing in terms of open source or anything back upstream?
Not yet. It's coming.
Okay. Thank you.
For the next event, but I cannot speak about that for now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then this is, let's say, one of the testimonial from one of our customers, and I want to finish the sessions here. These are the people from the HPC, and for them, they are looking for the research which are being, let's say, as I mentioned, collaborative. And the sharing of the data for them as well, the fair data management, is really become something mandatory. It's not something that they can ignore anymore.
What did you say IR, by the way?
Phoenix Array. Okay, it's
not fair as in fair.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fair. Is
it also standard or?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And the Phoenix Array is always an organization. It's important to mention, an European organization that want, let's say, to get collaboration across the different, let's say, research centers. Okay, and get the collaboration and get a mutualization of the resources. To let certain end users that wants to get access to a supercomputing, for example, to equipment, to facilitate the access and share the content across the different agencies and research centers. And they found with us the capability to answer that, and to add this requirement to modernize as well the data infrastructure. And this is the next evolution that will come around this collaboration of services around Europe. And we are part of that. I want to thank you for listening. It was on time, always.
We got 6
minutes for questions.
6 minutes.
Fair.
Right. Chris, your voice for questions. That's your question pose. No? Oh, okay. Usually when you've got your glasses like that and you're leaning forward, you're about to ask a question.
No, I've been talking to Ben. I'm hyper excited.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Any questions, guys? I know Ben. Oh, Valentine.
Yes, please. First of all, allow me to tell you the presentation was brilliant.
Thank you.
And now, please, could you, tell us about your three key advices for a prospect or customers?
Yeah.
About for a secure and efficient data management.
Okay. First things, secure and efficient. For me, it's key important for an organization in data management to make sure to identify their content, make sure that they can identify and know more about what they have, and get sort of whatever they want. I do know people doing Excel, whatever, they get let's say a capability to get, let's say, the list of what they have and to master what they have.
So there's a certain level of maturity in your customers.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah. He asked me advice. Yeah. It required a high level of maturity.
Yes.
And the second one is to make sure to handle multiple copies of their content, and very, very ideally on the different technologies to make sure that they can externalize at least one copies. Then traceability, getting really, really the picture of what they have and master what they have to multiple copies of the content and at least different technologies.
Do you ever turn customers down and say that for what you want in your level of maturity, you're better off going with Dell or something like that?
Yeah, that's true. But it's like, natural. Yeah, it's natural. We can directly see that they are not ready. It's because for a deal negotiation, you see that they do not have a budget. They do not want to place budget for that. Even at the end, for pricing perspective, I didn't want to that. For pricing perspective, when you count, let's say, the cost and the service and such kind of things, plus, let's say, the economy you get to have a good organization of the content, it's cost effective.
Yeah, any company will say we want to have effective data management.
Yeah.
It's when you ask the question, what does that actually mean to you? What's your success criteria?
Yeah.
What do you regard as success
criteria?
And they have got no idea. They just want it to be right.
But I will be on board it with in a meeting with Dell, with the customers, having an archive on an object storage based on Flash and a petabyte level. I can't imagine the cost of that. And if we can do something, there is economies behind.
Dell.
Sorry, Chris.
You're talking with Dell about a customer
Yeah.
with a petabyte archive on Flash.
Yeah.
A European customer.
Yeah.
HPC customer.
No. Bank.
A bank.
Yeah.
Which one?
I cannot say.
Good try.
I can say a lot of things, but no, I cannot. It's too soon. When we will sign it, I can speak. Yeah. And the question of even Dell is realize that the customer is requesting to Dell, okay, I have so many content there. What can I do? Well, Dell will say I can place another object storage and you can. But what about the cost? He can go to another vendor. But who is the vendors that will certify the capability to get, let's say, an offload from an object storage from whatever vendor to another vendor? It's like back to the question he mentioned, the point he mentioned. Nobody will certify that. Nobody in the biggest vendors we will get the interest to do that. Then they came back to us for doing that.
They came to you?
Yeah. Dell
came to you?
Dell.
Build a bit of mousetrap and people will come to me.
New Dell acquisition image.
Actually, you mentioned a good. You just mentioned a good question. What's your exit strategy?
Well, you have to expect this one, right?
Yeah, always.
Thank you for the prompt.
I'm 45.
Blindingly obvious.
I'm 45. Then at what stage? Yes, I would like to expect it. Yeah.
It's my job, though.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
The exit, yeah, just that I have to expect at
Yes.
one stage that I said, yes, I expect it one day to do it. But yeah, not now. We never know.
What is your desired exit strategy? I mean, let me make the question more blunt than I have. Are you looking at IPO? You think you will get sold, or you just going to remain independent? There's only 3 outcomes.
I do believe that we will remain independent during the next few years. Till, let's say, the reason will be a little bit more clear. And we will see what will go out of that. Because I can expect a lot of battles on the vendor side. I see a lot of challenge for them and see a little bit the pressures of cloud is huge. On the other side, but the vendors have to reinvent a little bit the way of, let's say, of selling and providing product. And we will see.
Thank you.
But this will come.
The bank you're talking to.
Yeah.
I imagine they've already got archival storage.
Yeah, that's a flash. The archiving.
But why can't they use their existing archival storage system?
They use it, but they realize a little bit that they could do some things better for now.
Do you know what the existing archive storage software is?
I have no clue for now. Yeah. But they want to externalize the content from the object storage to something different.
Yeah.
And get out of the content which doesn't fit.
So it will be object storage.
It's object. And they object to object, object to tab.
And is that object on premises or object?
Yeah, on-prem. Yeah, on-prem. Yeah.
Yeah. Fascinating stuff.
Are you go ahead, Chris.
And the data sources are multiple and varied, are they?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet. Early days.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Exactly. Yeah. It will be fun. I will keep you in touch.
Are you partners with Scality?
Yes. A certain level, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you expand more about that partnership?
We have, technology partnership, yeah. We do have, let's say, attention from Germany, from the DACH.
In Germany?
At Scality.
Yeah, Scality, yeah. I know Jerome, of course.
Yes.
From a while.
Who doesn't?
Typically, yes, it's the capability to address, let's say, and to have Scality to get more of the architecture or the new system or to the string, and to make sure that, for a workflow perspective, to make sure that they can attract end users that they can't attract for now. Okay, then basically, one of the pillar from an object storage perspective, either the partners with a Veeam, for example, to get their system loaded.
Are you not concerned that Scality might just copy what you're doing?
They already try. They mentioned that Zenko will solve the world a couple of years ago. When we went to a deal, try to discuss it. No, we have Zenko. We'll do with Zenko. Fair enough. Go with Zenko. And at the end, nothing's happened. Okay, we are a few years later, and we are still in the same situation. That at one stage, I think that they have to realize that collaborations can be, let's say, the key. Then yes, if they want to start to embrace such kind of use case and make sure that they can have different workload coming inside their systems, they need to collaborate with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If they want to go to the use case we do have in the industry and go out, let's say, of traditional, let's say, business for object storage, we are there to help. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And this is where, for the we do the difference. It's because the industry and our capability and our customers. Yeah.
Any further questions? No?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, one.
Yes.
Yeah, one.
Because you're in the HPC area, I mean, I tend to think universities kind of shared all the data between themselves.
That's true, yeah.
Whereas most commercial organisations wouldn't want anybody anywhere near.
Exactly.
Do you have any advantages when it comes to people actually sharing data from one university to another, or from one? I mean, I'm thinking of virus stuff for the pandemic, or earthquake.
This is coming. This is coming. Such kind of thing is coming. Is to try to share the content across different entities and organizations, and make sure that they can get out of that. And more this is going to climatology start to be one challenge, because the climate is start to be a disaster, and they need to start to organize and to understand the impact of what's happened in just, for example, on the north of Europe and what's happened on the south of Europe, and try to collaborate on the content. Yeah, this is coming, and I think even more and more the genomics. What we see in our customers who are doing analysis of the genomics and try to understand with the sequencers the transformation of the gene and the medicine, that, because we do have customers that are doing such kind of research, they do sequencing of people who do have cancer, they analyze the gene transformation, and they do verification of the impact of the medicines. And when they try to find patterns, they try to replicate the pattern. And this makes sense to share such kind of things, because it's key things. Thank you.